Aftershock. What's Aftershock?
Coming up on this week's episode of Aftershock,
Sammy revisits the influential horror franchise.
Isabella delves deeper into a Paramore album,
Tyler gives us an insider on the moving parts behind trains.
and Alex investigates a certain stereotype of this past week's holiday. I'm Alessia Levian.
And I'm Matthew Maycutt, and Aftershock starts now. With St. Patrick's Day having been this week, people were feeling a little bit extra lucky.
But not everyone can see St. Patrick's as a lucky holiday. Here's Alex to tell us why.
As March comes to a close, the four-leaf clovers in luck of the leprechauns have populated our environment. The emerald green of St. Patrick's Day is adored by many. However, not everyone is feeling the luck of the Irish this time of year.
I mean, of course, it's bound to happen. Like, a couple of jokes on St. Patrick's Day, that's it. Leprechauns, everything like that, redheaded, ginger.
With St. Patrick's Day being themed around the infamous leprechaun with striking red hair, students at the Bay with this shared feature are often the target of a pot full of jokes.
I definitely have gotten a bunch of Ed Sheeran jokes. That's for sure. Leprechaun, St. Patrick's Day.
According to a study conducted by Inverse, 85% of redheaded adolescents face torment due to the color of their hair. Maturing with these digs to their appearance does not bring good fortune to their developing confidence.
It was definitely hard for me to grow into my hair. I always thought, when I was little, I don't want to be someone who stands out.
While students like Maya understand the lucky charm in poking fun at her unique feature, there is absolutely a line in the sand that should not be crossed this St. Patrick's Day.
It's bound to happen, a couple of jokes on St. Patrick's Day. But when you start to get personal, and you're like, hold on, I don't think it's a joke anymore, kind of thing.
And whether it be for red hair or any other unique attribute.
Of course, people have always told me, you should do modeling, all those compliments, and it makes you smile, it makes you, happy. I'm like, wow, maybe I truly do love my hair. It's not something to have so much hate about.
Don't allow the comments of others to stop your light from shining. Alex Land, CB TV.
Imagine it's St. Paddy's Day dinner, but you've got no bread to serve with your stew. Don't worry though, the Irish have your back, as they've mastered the art of breads using baking soda instead of yeast. I'm Tyler Buckstell, and I'm going to teach you how to make Irish soda bread on this week's Teen Cuisine. Begin by preheating your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit and oiling and flouring a 9-inch round baking dish. In a bowl, mix 4 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, 1.5 teaspoons cream of tartar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 3 tablespoons of sugar. Add half of a stick of butter and rub it into the mixture with your fingertips. Excuse me to go off screen and wash my hands before folding 1 large beaten egg and 1.5 cups of buttermilk into the dry ingredients. Once the dough comes together, pull it onto a flour-dusted work surface and knead briefly until the dough is fully formed. Dust the top with flour and score a large X into the dough. Place the dough into your cook pan, bake for 15 minutes, then lower the temperature to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and let bake for another 40 minutes. Once baked, let cool completely on a wire rack before serving. If there's one thing I've learned today, it's that you don't need yeast to get a rise out of this dish. Wishing you all a happy St. Patrick's Day, Tyler Buckstell, CB TV.
Hey Matthew, when was the last time you rode a train?
I can't say I have, but I've always wondered how they work.
That could be an interesting topic. Maybe Tyler can help us put us on the right track.
The modern transportation industry remains dominated by our four-wheeled friend, the car. At Dania Beach Station, that's not the case. Here, the mighty locomotive goes the extra mile to take people where they need to be. But how exactly do trains function? If you were to ask an average passenger,
I don't know much about trains. I know they get you to point A to point B. I know that it takes you where you want to go. It's fast.
very few would have an answer. To find out, we have to track down the foundations of locomotive technology. Most trains you'll see are powered by diesel. Diesel enters the engines and produces compressed air when burnt. This air pushes the pistons in the engines, which produce electricity, and thus power the wheels. As the engine chugs along, something needs to put the motion in locomotion. That's where the wheels roll in. Unlike these tires, train wheels are cone in shape. This allows them to be directed to the center of the tracks and tilt whenever the train needs to make a turn. Under the wheels lies the rails, which many people know guide the train around. But what most don't know is why rocks populate the tracks. Gravel can be found on the rails for multiple reasons. They distribute heat, keep the rails steady, keep plants from growing, and drain rainwater. Those rocks are the final touch that make a functioning train system. Trains are wonderful modes of transportation, but not looking at the science behind it would be undermining what makes the wheels really turn. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a technological marvel to catch. Tyler Buxtell, CB TV.
Considering their emo and punk roots, After Laughter was not the album that many were expecting from Paramore, which is the band that brought you international hits like Still Into You and Misery Business. This record was quite the sonic breakthrough for them. With a new musical direction, they deviated from their hard rock roots and transformed their music into more of an alternative rock and synth-pop sound. After Laughter is made up of happy, vibrant instrumentals that make you want to jump out of your seat and dance, which is something that Haley clearly likes to do while they perform. Not only did this album completely ace the dance factor, but this collection of 12 songs displays great musicianship from all three members. Punchy vocals from Haley, groovy riffs from Taylor, and rhythmic genius from Zach. In fact, After Laughter was praised by music critics everywhere, being named as one of the best albums of 2017 by both Rolling Stone and NME. But its instrumentals are not the only reason why this album is so widely recognized. If you take a second to really listen to the lyrics, you'll realize that there's a much deeper message behind these playful tunes. According to the band's members, this album was created to explore the feeling of sadness after happiness, hence the full title, After Laughter Comes Tears. Throughout the record, they move from negative feelings like emotional exhaustion to more intense sensations like depression and the hardships regarding managing mental health under the public eye. It all depends on how you look at it, but to me, this album is an album of healing, not just for the artist, but for the listener as well. I mean, there's not many albums that you can both cry and dance to, and being able to create something like that, something that captures both extremes of the emotional spectrum, is something that takes talent, and many people can't pull that off. So to me, this album is not just an album, it's a work of art. Even though some listeners may not fully agree with this band's new direction, it really has been a privilege to see Paramore's discography evolve over time, fully showcasing their growth not just as a band, but as individuals as well. Plus, no one really knows whether or not this is their last album, but if it is, they definitely ended things off with a bang, but hey, that's just my opinion. I'm Isabella Chiappini, CB TV.
Matthew, do you remember that game, Five Nights at Freddy's?
Oh yeah, but I can't really remember what it was about though.
Well, if you're in for a scary tale, Sammy can help jog your memory.
God, this place gives me the creeps. Jesus Christ! Hello?
Hello, I'm a security guard from another location, and I wanted to help get you settled in on your first night. Now, this is no ordinary establishment. The animatronics here do get a bit quirky at night.
Quirky how?
Well, they're kind of possessed by the souls of children, so they don't take too kindly to adults.
Whoa, back it up. Possessed by souls of children?
Oh, silly me. I forget not everyone's aware of the story. Fazbear Entertainment's done a pretty good job at covering it up. Open up your camera monitor, let me show you. Well, you see, to make things short and simple, Fazbear Entertainments and animatronics were created by a man that goes by the name of William Afton. He, along with his partner Henry Emily, made their first two animatronics, Golden Freddy and Springlock Bonnie, that could be used as both suits and animatronic animals. The Springlocks are extremely sensitive to water, so when wearing the suits, employees had to be careful not to get it wet. These animatronics would be housed in Fredbear's Family Diner, the first Fazbear establishment. Along with the two, Henry Emily created an animatronic puppet to protect his daughter Charlotte, but one night during a birthday party, the puppet was trapped inside of its box by some bullies who left Charlotte locked out of the diner. This is where William would claim his first unlucky victim.
Okay, but what does this have to do with the animatronics being possessed? Also, should I be worried about Bonnie coming near my office?
I'm getting there. Also, if the animatronics get too close, just close the door on them, but make sure you don't run out of power.
Noted.
After William Afton escapes, the puppet manages to get out of its box and goes to find Charlotte. Realizing what happened, the puppet gives Charlotte new life by allowing her soul to inhabit its animatronic body. After this incident, both Henry Emily and the initial owners of Fredbear's bail from the company, selling it to a new company that turned the brand into a franchise with merchandise and a new location known as Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. With Fredbear's Family Diner still existing, William Afton's son Evan had his birthday party there. Only issue is, he's deathly terrified of these animatronics, prompting his older brother Michael and his friends to pull a seemingly harmless prank. They stick Evan's head into the animatronic of Golden Freddy, and with the Springlock's high sensitivity to water, they fail, and the sobbing child's head gets, well... This leads to Fredbear's Diner closing and the Springlock animatronics to be locked in the back room at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Oh God, okay, but what does this have to do with these being possessed specifically?
Well, William wasn't exactly done collecting victims after Charlotte, and the unfortunate passing of his son kind of flipped a switch in his psychopathic brain. You see, by using the Springlock Bonnie, William lured 5 unsuspecting children into the back room and disposed of their bodies by stuffing them into the animatronic suits. 4 of them went to the main ones at your establishment, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, and the 5th one, named Cassidy, went to the Golden Freddy animatronic in the back. The puppet, now possessed by Charlotte, decided to give the children what she had been given herself, a second chance at life.
Oh my God, thank God. I'd love to hear the rest of this story, but after what I just experienced, I think I'm gonna bail on the whole spending 5 nights at Freddy's thing.
Come on, it's not as bad as it seems, I promise. The story gets interesting too. Look, our reputation makes it hard
Nope,
to hire people.
I'm out.
Wait!
Dang it. Not again. Guess it's time to post another flyer.
That's all for this week.